I'm Tierra Leanne.
I'm Terrell.
And I'm Tawan.
And you're about to be
Rewired.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about a very, very, very popular subject, which is social media. How it is affecting our community, how it can be either a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to get into it. So, I'm going to go first about how I feel about social media. I feel like social media is a good platform to use, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whatever it is. I feel like if you're a person that's trying to brand yourself, or you're a person that's into business and you're an upcoming entrepreneur, then that's definitely something that you should be using. But on the flip side, if every day when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, you checking your social media, you're not even getting up brushing your teeth, then that's a problem. Do y'all agree with that?
I do agree with that. I gotta be honest and say that I think I'm from a different generation. I'm one of them 80s and 90s kids where we didn't have when I was introduced to social media, I was already a grown man. I had already developed my personality and stuff like that. So for me, it was definitely an adjustment for me to try to accept the good things along with the things that are, kind of a turnoff when it comes to social media.
Yeah. Same here. I want to piggyback off of Terrell's experience. I think that when you grow up outside of the social media era, it's kind of looked at more like entertainment than a necessity. And I think that's what keeps it in perspective, because everything evolves into something that we can't live without at some point. Like, it started off like a luxury, like a car. It was a luxury, but you wasn't dependent on your car. Mm-hmm. But now everybody got a car and they can't live without their car. You know what I'm saying? Right. Same thing with a cell phone. And I feel like it's moving that direction with social media too.
But that's where the addiction part comes in at. That's why I say you can use it, but use it in moderation to the point where you don't need it. You're just using it. It's just an extra tool that you can use, a part of your business or a part of promoting yourself. Or you may be a rapper, you may be a singer, you may have a daycare that you want to promote for parents out there. I feel like it all depends on what are you using social media for.
Definitely.
Are you sitting on the sidelines? You're a hater, you're a participator, congratulator. You can use it for all type of things. Like, it just all depends on you.
So what's some things I think that we was talking before we started taping about culture, youth,
and relationships.
So those are the three things that you feel like is being affected.
Those are the three things that those are three of the biggest things that I feel like are affected heavily by social media. So what do you think about culture? Like, how is the culture affected by social media?
Culture-wise, I feel like it's the instant gratification for me. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people, they see these people on social media and they're glorifying their beauty, or they're glorifying the cars, the jewelry, the exotics, the experiences, and they're not knowing that these people are either they worked very hard to get to where they're at and they're making it look easy, or B, sometimes they just
make it.
Capping.
Yeah, they cap.
They capping. That's what they call it. I didn't make the lingo up, but they are capping. Okay, so you're looking and you're basing your reality based off of someone that's giving you a false image of themselves. So that's where it's messing up our culture, because it seems like, to me, people are dressing themselves up more than what they really are, and so then when you see them or you get to know them, you're like, okay, it's not adding up. You know what I mean?
Even like that.
I see you on social media doing this, that, and the third, and it's messing up our culture, because I see a lot of people doing crazy things on social media just for clout, just for likes, just for comments, and I think that's where it affects our culture.
I got an observation about that. I feel like the reason why it's a discrepancy between your social media life and your real life is because You get the opportunity to edit your social media life.
Mm-hmm.
You get the opportunity to say, hey, that's not a good angle for me. Or
Yeah.
I have my
Redo.
mouth open on that picture. Or let me put some abs in this picture. Or let me put a filter on that thing when a blemish is on my face. So in real life, you don't get an opportunity to get a do-over every time. You don't get an opportunity to say, hey, I didn't present myself the best way that time. Let me reintroduce myself to you. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask this though, back on that capping situation, and to piggyback off of what you said too.
Well, you know,
Let's talk about the percentage, because what the thing I'm scared of is it's always been some people that was capping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always been a couple people in a room that's gonna build themselves up to here, knowing they really here.
Right.
The issue that I'm seeing is that that's becoming the norm. Everybody is on there capping, like everybody is on there, taking pictures of stuff that ain't theirs. I was in the club one time. It was lame as hell at the club. It was not a good time in there. Nobody was having a good time, but everybody was in there trying to act like they was. Everybody was on social media snapping and stuff, trying to get the 3 people that was in the club all in that shot.
And not really having a genuine time. If you having fun, you don't have to capture every little bitty thing. But that's the culture part in it. And like it's happening. It's trendy. People want to look like they're having a good time. Don't get me wrong. Some people are on there for motivational purposes. They're really living that life. They're really millionaires and they really are in Dubai. They're really, they really got Lamborghinis. They really are positive people, because then you have it's like different worlds. Social media is different. It's like almost different countries. You can go over here. You can go over here where it's the Instagram models. You can see all the nice booties and all the big tits. You can go over here. You can see the athletes. You can go over here. You can see the latest gossip. Who's messing with who. You can go over here and you can see.
You see all that on social media?
Yes, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's the scary part.
It's different type of worlds, and it's all about you being able to align yourself with what world you want to be a part of. Either you're going to be with the entrepreneurs that's over here posting inspirational stuff, that's marketing themselves, that's branding themselves, or you're going to be, because I had to do that. I literally started over fresh. I deleted a lot of negative things or things that I feel like I didn't agree with. I had to just let it go and start following more positive influencers like Oprah Winfrey, Obama, and
on that vein though, just thinking about how you said you can go to different places and be surrounded by different people. That is the scariest part of social media to me, because what's the next step? Like what is going to be the trend-setting thing when everybody gets used to social media and it's not fun just to get a like or a comment no more?
Exactly.
Then you can go into it's places, it's different sites that you can go into and go into a whole alternate world, like a whole alternate reality that you created yourself. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying.
And you have zero awareness and zero skills to interact with real people, because everybody that you interact with is somebody that you made up and that's like catered to what's already inside of you. So it's just reinforcing the things that's already in you and not allowing you to learn from anybody else, because you're not interacting with you're just interacting with different parts of yourself.
So I agree with that, and I agree with what you said too, Tiara. I guess, are we at the point where we can rewire some of the thought processes?
Yeah,
definitely.
You have to be mentally strong enough to really handle social media these days. That's just me. You can't think that everything you see, you can't perceive it to be reality. You get what I'm saying? Because if a person can come on here and make believe of whoever they want to be, then 9 times out of 10, you can't take what people are saying or doing unless it's business or unless it's your family member that's, inviting you to a baby shower or something. Mm-hmm. If it's not something like that, then to your topic about these little kids out here that's about to be damaged from this social media.
Right. And I think that, awareness is key. Mm-hmm. And just like you said, the awareness comes in where you got to understand that if a person is really living a certain lifestyle and they living it for themselves, then you only get access to it if they choose to let you in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if a person is choosing to let you in, it's probably for a reason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you keep that in perspective, you don't have to be sucked into their reality.
Yeah.
And too, I think just limiting the actual time, like the real time that you on social media, because we all have a tendency to slip into believing something that we constantly expose ourselves to. You know what I'm saying? If somebody tell you fat 1,000 times, you could be the skinniest person in the world. You're going to start thinking you fat at some point.
Eventually, definitely. Well, I'm glad that we kind of transition into the next topic, which is the youth. And I speak about this topic a lot for a lot of different reasons. But one thing, I probably say about 80% of my professional development been working with young adults, most of which have either been overexposed to triggers in society, or traumatized, or all of the above, just maladjusted in general. The other of my passionate charges is my own, personal life, where I want to be the voice of reason for the people who are most impressionable, which is the youth, right? And the thing that the thing that fears me when it comes to the youth is that impressionable mindset that they have, not to be able to decipher reality from fantasy on social media. One thing that I ran into in my personal life is my daughter. She a very bright and intelligent little girl, and she full of energy and personality. But sometimes when she sees things on TikTok and social media and stuff like that, she has a 9-year-old reaction to it. And she said, okay, cool, this person got this, that person got this, then I should be able to get it too. They not exposed to the process. When I was a kid, I didn't know what the inside of Michael Jordan's house looked like. I didn't know what Michael Jackson was eating for breakfast, and you know what I'm saying, all of that type of stuff. So the people who was up here, they interacted with other people who was up here.
I just
interacted with people who were in my hood. In my hood, I was doing all right, so I was cool. But what does that translate into? My daughter is 9. She says she want a car when she gets 16. Guess what kind of car she wants? Just guess. Wild guess.
A Chevy.
What'd she say?
Hell no.
She said she wanted a Lambo.
She want either on a Lambo,
a
Tesla, or the new Corvette. Not an old one.
Corvette.
The new one. She want the 2020.
Okay, with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I said, you see that old Lexus in the front yard?
She don't want that old car.
She said, no, I don't want that. Nah.
My son came out and told me, I tried to give him my car. I said, here, this is a good car for you, son. He said, I think I'll take my mom's car. It's newer.
The world is just changing. And I feel like for the influencers, like, y'all see this. Y'all don't see how the kids is being affected by social media. So I feel like we could be, as a culture, as a community, as a society, we could be more mindful for the kids. An influencer is people with basically a lot of clout, a lot of followers, and they are on social media. You know, they show their everyday life. They are just in a public eye more than a normal person. So that's why they call it
normal amount of followers.
Yeah, what's success? Like what takes you to the next level?
I think when you get up there and about the millions, that's a influencer. When you get about 1 million followers, like 500,000, I feel like.
Oh, here's the other thing with the youth, right?
I wanted to chime in on your youth topic before you got off of it.
Okay. Well, we still on the youth, man. We gotta stay on the youth for a minute, man, because that's our future. That's our future, man. Wait, it's over with us.
Filter these kids. Phones and stuff. Like, you can monitor what your kid is getting on now too. Now, don't blame it on social media if your kids just turn out to be off the chain.
No, that's what we gonna get to that Rewired part. But what I have noticed is that it's changing the personalities of the youth. Like when I was a kid, the cool dude didn't brag on what he had. He just waited on other people to see it, and then they bragged on it. But now it's changing these people into those, either I'm one of these gamer dudes that can't interact with people in real life.
It messes up their social skills.
It messes up their social
skills.
They don't have good social skills.
They're lacking in social skills because they have an option to not engage.
To zone out.
To not engage. Like when we was at school, it might be 1 or 2 weird dudes that didn't say nothing to nobody. But most people figured out how to assimilate, how to communicate.
Think about when you pulled Well, back in the day, it was a beeper. Pull your beeper out during dinner or something. Pull your, you know what I'm saying, cell phone out when you're supposed to be eating with your family. You might get a whole whooping right there at the table.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I be having to ask my daughter, like, did you hear what I said? No, take the ear pod things out. Then you can hear me. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, so I guess to get back to the rewired part, you know what I'm saying? How do we rewire that thing? Like, how do we think differently about this in terms of youth? Like, what can we do differently as a culture so it don't have a negative impact on the youth?
I mean, I'm going to go back to my original point. It's just limit the actual time. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times we as parents, we use social media or YouTube or TikTok or whatever the platform is as a babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
Like, shit, I'm going to go over there and get on that thing for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Mama got something to do. Or Dad is down here kicking it with his I'm finna play 2K. You go up there and get on YouTube. So we have to be mindful of allowing social media platforms to raise our kids when we don't feel like it. You know?
I say access, just like what you said. Filter, monitor, check into exactly what your child is looking at. And I feel like explaining to them the difference between reality and social media so they'll understand, like, this is fake. Mm-hmm. This is something that we do, you know, that we use in the meantime and between time. But, you know, try to teach your kids to have social skills. Put them in sports. Put them in stuff that's like, you know, outside of technology. Because nowadays I can see where we're going intellectually, socially with the kids. You know, it's not.
I like both of those two. It's huge. Limit the access. You said explain the difference between reality and fantasy.
And fantasy.
I got one more to add to that. Model for your kids an example of a person that is in the moment and actually experiencing life and not trying to take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like when I go somewhere, I want my daughter to see a cool dude that's actually experiencing what we actually doing. We ain't trying to photograph it. We ain't, you know, stopping the movie. Hey, stop the...
Right.
Like, I do try to capture moments, you know what I'm saying, when I feel like it's a Kodak moment or whatnot. But I'm not making the experience geared around capturing it for the gram. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you that person, then why would you not expect for your kids to be
like that?
You know what I'm saying? Like if you that guy that's always... I was at the gym once the other day, man, and all the younger dudes in the gym, instead of actually lifting weights, think about the concept of lifting weights.
They was taking pictures.
You're supposed to be strenuously working out to the point where your muscles is fatigued, to the point where they break down and regenerate bigger. How can you do that and film it at the same time? Unless you got somebody filming it.
Yeah.
Now, if you got it yourself and you like, 1, 2, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you taking half of the energy that you.
I done seen some weird. I know we all done caught some people doing some weird stuff for the ground.
Oh,
I mean, I done caught.
They put on, and that kind of brings me to my next subheading, which is how social media affects relationships. And I'm gonna start off on the positive because that list is a whole lot shorter than the negative, in my opinion. So the positives for relationships is I think we were talking before we started filming about giving you access to people that you wouldn't normally have access to. Like, just say you had a high school sweetheart and y'all moved away or whatever, whole lot of distance between you and this person, y'all reconnect on social media. Oh, great, kumbaya. That's a great situation, something that you wouldn't be exposed to if it was not for social media. What else in relationships?
You can express.
I guess you can express your love for a person or your affection or affinity for a person, and like show them that you don't mind who sees, like that's your person, and that could be like reinforcing to a relationship. I guess that's some good things.
Anybody else?
I'm out of good things. Anybody else have some good things for a relationship?
I mean, social media is not designed for relationships, I feel like. But I feel like if you are in a relationship and one person uses social media and one person may not, I mean, you got different type of situations. I don't
I think
get
we
this
should-
subject.
I think we should start.
I'm finna
I
go
don't
to
get
the.
it.
I'm finna go to the negative because the
No,
positive
go with
is
the
pretty-
negative. Cause
Yeah. The negative got to be said.
what's the negative?
The negative about being super active on social media while if you're in a relationship is it gives people access to you that don't deserve access to you. It gives all of your followers a glimpse into your life, whether you want them there or not, and that does not only affect you, it affects the other person that you're in a relationship with. So if they're not on board with sharing the experience that you just shared, then you just compromise their confidentiality and their privacy. That's number one.
Mhm.
What do y'all think about that?
I don't disagree with that. But I think, just like anything else, discretion can be exercised in that scenario. So
Why do
to
it have
me,
to be discretion? If you with a person, post them.
yeah, you can
Sure.
post them, but I'm just saying, like, if let's just say
Post your
I
woman, post your
am a
man.
single man, right? And I'm posting stuff that I know is going to elicit negative or like sexually suggestive attention from women.
Right,
That's different if I'm single.
right.
So I should probably use some discretion when I'm not single and don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can post a picture, an inspirational quote, and some people is gonna take it left and want to use that opportunity to get in your inbox and, hey, I liked your inspirational quote, let me take you out to dinner.
Right.
But if you are posting mostly wholesome stuff, I think you're gonna get mostly wholesome responses.
Exactly.
But if you start teetering on that line and you start getting more attention in a negative way than what you were looking for, then it might have something to do with what you chose to post and what you chose to expose to the world.
Yeah, and definitely, and that will go back. My suggestion for a rewire on that one is the same as all the rest of them. It's just limit your exposure and limit people's access to you.
Yeah.
Because everybody does not deserve access to your private life. That's why it's called a private life.
But I feel like the same time whatever you show, like let's say whether you show yourself or not, let's say you just show what you're eating, you're still opening people to your world. Or I feel like everybody have a right to brand themselves or to display themselves how they want to display themselves. You can't tell a person, oh, just because you're in a relationship, if a person has self-respect for themselves, then 9 times out of 10 they have respect for you. You get what I'm saying? And what they post is just like all the other things. You shouldn't. It's like an illusion. You know what I mean? You shouldn't take it so personal. I feel like social media really ruins a lot of relationships because of that. Because you're taking things personal. A woman can post something and be looking cute, sexy, hot, and people can be liking her stuff, and it could be a whole person she never met in Nova Scotia somewhere, like, hey baby, I love that, you look good. And now her man may see that, and now she's arguing with her man over a person in Nova Scotia that she doesn't even know.
But that's not what
That's
your
the
man is
rewire.
arguing with you about. Your man is arguing with you about eliciting attention from other men. Your man does not care what the man in Nova Scotia says. He can't control what the man in Nova Scotia is saying.
Exactly.
What he cares about is that your woman is out here trying to get attention from a man, whether he in Nova Scotia, Africa, or America.
A beautiful woman does not have to try to get attention. They're going to get it whether they post a picture with a wedding dress on, whether they post a picture with a tennis outfit on, whether they post a picture with a stripper outfit on. A woman is going to get attention naturally, period.
That's
Let me
not
ask
true.
you
So
this.
I've
I
had
agree
people
with that.
comment.
I
No,
agree with that.
I've posted positive things, positive quotes, and branded myself in the most, lifting way. At the end of the day, it's still going to be people that's still going to comment, people you still don't know, people that's still going to be in on your world. So it doesn't matter what angle you hit social media on. Once you out there, you out there.
That's
So
not
if you a person that don't want your partner on social media, just make that clear. You might as well say we ain't doing social media at all. Period.
Well, I actually do that, but I do think I agree with some part of what you said, but not the whole thing. You can't control that you get attention, but you can control, for the most part, the type of attention that you get.
Definitely.
So if I would be naive to think that I can have a pretty woman and I'm the only person that's looking at her. But I will say this, if you present yourself in a certain way, the majority of the people can receive you in that way. Now, it's probably going to be some outlier people, like I said before, that's just, one track type mind type of dudes that's going to, take it left whether you do this or do that. But for the most part, if you are, and this is the part that I think that's kind of hard for the relationship aspect, is that in real life, we exercise discretion and we know that how we present ourselves is how we going to be received. Yeah. Like, if you didn't, then you would wear anything you wanted to a job interview. Right. You don't do that because you know you're going to be perceived a certain way. Definitely. But on social media, you say, well, it don't matter what I post, I'm going to be received a certain way regardless. That's not the case.
Or people hide behind the fantasy part of it. Like, a picture is a picture. It's a real tangible thing. It's not a fantasy. So if I showed up in a real police outfit with a real badge and a real nightstick and everybody would assume that I'm a police officer without me having to say it. It might be one or two people that might say, hey, it's a possibility that he's not a police officer. Right. But most people is going to think I'm a police officer. So if you post a picture and you looking away, most people is going to assume that you are that person that you posted.
I'm going to ask y'all this. How do y'all feel about posting your significant other on social media?
I mean, I feel like it's got its ups and downs, but I feel like it's more negative than positive. Because just like what we just said, it gives people access to personal and private things that you supposed to be, not really supposed to be, but I think that it's easier to enjoy your person's company without a whole bunch of other people's input on what you got going on.
I'm finna let y'all in on a little secret.
And when you post your girl or your dude, then it don't do nothing but create envy in other people that you may have used to talk to or may have said something to a long time ago or whatever the case may be. So it just gives people access, reasons to hate and reasons to tear your situation apart.
That's what I was going to say. That was going to be the secret. You let the cat out the bag before I got a chance to say the secret. But the secret is...
The relationship.
No.
The
secret is when you post your significant other, that makes you more attractive to the opposite sex. I think when, like what Tierra said, sometimes when your girl or your dude is like, you got to post me. If you don't post me, you don't love me. Really, I'm not posting you because I want to preserve what we got. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want a whole bunch of people.
I mean, I would rather post... That's where the confusion come in at. Because on one end, you saying, okay, I don't like when you post this certain type of thing. You looking sexy. But on the other end, it's like, well, don't be posting me because I don't want nobody to really get the wrong perception and if the groupies get to coming in trying to break our home up. No, you got to figure out which one you want to be in. Well, you got to be in the one where you're going to let her do her and brand herself and, model, do whatever she need to do on her own. Or are you going to be on this side where you're going to say, okay, well, how about we start a campaign or we start a movement for Black love, # for us too. I see that on social media and I love that. I follow a lot of people like that. And I think that's the bomb. I think that's the bomb.com because people can't destroy what they don't build. And if your relationship is solid like this, everything else is misunderstood.
Though? What's the plus? Help me understand
what you can do.
What do you get out of posting your mate? If it's a Black love thing, like clarity, what are you gonna get from it?
You're showing people that you're taking because you cannot have nobody on your social media, and that can and that's the thing too with people. be in these exclusive relationships, but then you go on a page and they don't have none of their significant, like nothing about their significant other on there. So you're looking at this and you're like, okay, all right. We see that he was on the yacht. We see that he was in Mexico. We see that he was in Las Vegas. We see this. We see that. Well, okay, we don't see no girlfriend. Mm-hmm. We don't see none of that. Or we see that she was doing this. We see that she was doing that. We don't see no boyfriend. So either way it go, when it comes to social media, certain boundaries are going to kind of get crossed because it's open to the public. The moment that you click your phone, you click on the app and you go on there, you're entering into a public world where everybody can see you, everybody can access you, no matter what. There's no exceptions to whether you posting a picture, you're doing this, you're on there. It's a green bubble that shows Terrell's online right now. Tawana's online right now. It's no difference. So you might as well, if you're going to be on there, my advice, you might as well be on there. You might as well market yourself. Anything you got going on, you a therapist, you a hairdresser, you sell a mattress for a living. Brand yourself. Period.
All right. That brings me to my next point, which is how I think social media is tearing up relationships because it allows you to value internet connections more than real life connections. And the people that you interact with and have relationships with those are the real interactions. Like Tierra Leanne said, the people on the internet could be in Nova Scotia somewhere, people that don't know you for real, all they see is what you want them to see. But at the end of the day, a lot of times we choose satisfying them over satisfying the people that you interact with daily. I'll give you some examples, just like what Terrell said. If you in the gym, you working out, you looking weird as hell trying to work out and hold a phone, but you don't care. You don't care nothing about all the people that's in the room with you. The only people you trying to please is your fans and your followers. The same thing when you had a nice dinner. Everybody is in there dressed up. You looking all nice. You in there, instead of eating, you filming every single. But you don't care that everybody's looking at you crazy.
And that's called content. Some people drop content just to promote certain things, so it can be perceived. Because for the longest, I used to look at that. Like I see people post their food, I'm like, that is just so stupid.
Help me understand that. I don't understand.
Some people just like I said, it's content. Content is what's. People have been going crazy over.
Are you a chef? Are you promoting? Did you cook the food?
It's actually designed to put people kind of into your world. We want to know the life of Terrell. What do you eat? It's somebody out there that's your biggest fan that you don't even probably know. And if you start selling hats because you rocking it, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're going to buy that because they are infatuated or they feel like you are a person that they look up to.
Right, and that's what I'm really trying to I'm trying to rewire myself, honestly, because we talk to you guys from a realistic place of some of this stuff I'm struggling with personally, honestly, because that's so counter to the way I was raised. Yeah. Like, it's always a dude in the room that's trying to capture stuff this ain't new. It's been sensationalized now, but it's been a dude in the room from day one that wanted everybody to see what he was eating. Well, look at my shoes, look at my socks, look at my new drawers, look at my new everything. I just ain't never been that dude because back in the day, that dude was obviously the lamest dude in the room. Right. So to post everything that you go through on an everyday basis, I'm definitely trying to rewire my thought process because it's some benefits to it. I can't be, oblivious to the fact that there's some benefits to, giving people access to your life that really don't deserve it. In all honesty.
Yeah. But what if they are like a audience of consumers? Let's say, like I said, a lot of people these days are selling products online. They're selling services. Mm-hmm. So these people, you may feel like they don't deserve to see your life or your lifestyle, but if they are spending money and they're your fan or they're your supporter, technically they kind of do. You get what I'm saying? They kind of want to know exactly who you are, and it's not coming. Everybody is not coming from a bad place.
No, I'm not saying.
You know what I'm saying? So when you go in a room, and I used to be that same way. Like, why do people? But then once I start catching on, and I see that people are really, 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 really coming up and really being able to market themselves in the biggest way possible. So anybody will tell you right now, you go to a marketer and you ask them, I have this going on, this service or this product. The first thing they're going to ask you is to choose 2 platforms to promote your services on. Am I lying? That's what they're going to do.
That's great.
They're going to tell you to choose some platforms
go back.
So let's say you're going to a marketer. I'm a marketer.
You're a marketer?
Like I do marketing, sales, and whatever. You come to me and you tell me, well, I want to market my therapy services a little more. Mm-hmm. The first thing I would say is, which platform would you want to do that at? You could do it on Facebook. You could do it on. They got Psychology Today. They have Instagram, whatever. Mm-hmm. Once you choose that, what they're going to do is tell you it's a certain time. It's numbers. At this time, you need to be posting this. At this time, you need to be posting that. At this time. And it works.
Yes.
It works.
That's great. And I agree
so
with that.
So that's the way to be rewired. Because if you're doing it for a purpose, it's a difference when you're doing it for the people and you're doing it for a purpose. And that's what people got to learn. Quit trying to be cute for everybody else and find your niche and figure out, okay, if these people are liking this and they are loving this, how can I make you a consumer and buy something that I'm selling or to sign up for my services since you own me like that?
Right. I think that
that's great. And the people that are selling something and advertising something, those are not the people who need to be rewired, because it's a small percentage of people selling services on Instagram.
No,
everybody has an Instagram.
And
so you mean every single person on there is branding themselves to sell a service?
The people who are waking up and smelling the coffee is on there selling something.
No.
I don't
believe that. I believe it's regular working class people who just want to be seen for the most part. It is some people out there that's selling a service. It's some people out there that's selling a good. But for the most part, let's talk about probability and not possibility. For the most part, it's regular people. That's who we talking to. Regular people. This is not a forum for entrepreneurs. This is a forum for whoever get on Instagram.
But it's also people who are selling products and services.
I'm not excluding them. I'm saying those people exist.
But we're making it out to be such a big thing when, like you said, you wanted to know either for your own better, because we could continue to say, well, I wasn't like that. Times is changing. You got to get with the program. You can't be thinking that you can invent what's going on in the world today just because that's how you were raised.
No,
you can't do that.
I don't think that's what I was trying to say. I think that what you're saying is using platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, to further your business, and that is happening. Some of that is doing, but what needs to be acknowledged is that yes, that's happening, but it's a lot of shit that's not that is posing to be that because you just want some attention. You know what I'm saying? And you just want everybody to know what kind of car you got. And because I've seen women with the bust down this picture, you know what I'm saying, booty up in the air, titties out, and then under it, beauty is the eye of the beholder. Something real profound. Right. You don't have to put that picture up to convey that message. You could have just put the words
so I get
up.
what y'all saying. I get for the attention seekers. So for the people who do need to be rewired, definitely need to hear that, because like you said, a lot of people are not looking at it from a professional or a business standpoint. They're looking at it as the only way. Some people never got attention until social media was designed. Let's be real.
That's what I'm saying. If that's a part of your personality, honestly, I don't know.
Now cut that. Yeah, if you're doing that, y'all gotta cut that out. If you're just doing it just to show, I just got my boobs done, or I just got my butt done, so now I'm just gonna be on this mug butt naked. Now I don't think that's
like they've been working out. Like,
even with the guys with the cars, and you know what I'm saying, you flashing money, you doing all that, or I see guys literally post pictures of drugs. I don't understand that, because it goes back to it's kids watching. Why are you doing that? Like, what do you want your kids to see? Like, if they could go back and look at everything you ever posted, if your kid could go back to your portfolio once they get old enough to do that, a lot of people probably would have a lot of explaining to do.
Also, y'all know that jobs look at your social media accounts, right? Like, if you put in an application for a job nowadays, they looking to see what you posting. So if you think that that's, that your story disappeared,
So yeah, I get what you're
You know what I'm
saying. It's
saying?
about if you're doing it for a purpose and you're just doing it for a show. If you're doing it for a purpose and you got a brand, I say go with that, which is the pro. Now the con is the people who are on here actually conning people, because clearly that is, you almost catfish, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, y'all watch catfish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's hard to generalize, but the social media era has really normalized catfishing. A filter is a catfish,
And
Hey,
it just
A
allows
car that's
people.
not yours is catfish.
It just allows people to live in a fantasy world and hide behind things that they know is not true. Like, even with possibilities, like, oh, I could be selling a service. You could be. It's very possible. But that's the same thing with the car. You standing in front of a car that could very well be your car, but you want to create that illusion. You want to create that question mark, so people is thinking like, dang, is that really his car? Or dang, is she really selling a service? Or is she just trying to show her body off? Like,
I know somebody who will, not to cut you off, keep posting like pictures of a trip, the same trip. Like
I hear
a
about the
Snapchat.
travel delusion.
Yeah.
People are like delusional when they travel. A lot of men has been picking that up. I heard one guy, he was saying he was dating a girl, and he said like every time the girl go out of town, she's posting pictures and she's doing that, but like I guess she lives on somebody's couch, you know, and it can kind of be deceiving, because it's like, dang, you doing all this, and then like I said, it causes people to fall into that trap. That's why I say you have to really be mentally strong enough to really like, don't base your life upon the next person. Don't compare yourself. If you want these things, work for it, get it, and then maybe you could post it. But don't just think because this person is posting this, oh, I could do that or I could do this. No, you're gonna go broke.
I just don't believe that. I believe that the people who really got those things are not posting them. Like, most of the people who are not trying to create an illusion, they wouldn't post something because they value it. Like, if I value something, I'm not going to give everybody access to it.
I think it's two people that post everything. It's people that's flogging, and it's people that got new money.
Yeah,
They ain't
folks
used to
that ain't
having
used to nothing.
Yeah.
And then there's some people
'Cause-
that may just do it for motivational purposes. It is people out there like
So they want to motivate other people.
they want to motivate people to, you know, get certain things. And so, I mean, it's
Get material things?
yeah.
But
Y'all
I'm
post
thinking-
pictures of, I seen your car on your Instagram and I seen your car on your Instagram.
I posted. We had a photo shoot that was
Is
supposed
it
to be
fake?
a business.
Is that your car?
Yeah, it's my car.
Is that your car?
Yeah, but
That's
mine-
motivated. It motivated me.
Mine ain't really on there like that.
You had posted a car. This is when you get your 745. I mean your 750. I like that picture.
Okay.
That's yours though. That was all you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You touched a lot of young people probably with that. Seeing that, and it's really yours. Why did you post a picture of your car?
Why did I didn't post a picture of just my car. I posted a picture of myself, and I was in my car.
No, you post a picture of your car.
Yeah.
That's motivating. Embrace it. Ain't nothing wrong with
I
it.
don't think so. I have a hard time thinking people is posting material things to motivate the youth. I don't think so. I think that it's a bragging thing, and I think that most of the time you don't brag on something that you expect to happen. Like, you ain't out like, oh man, I
see
braved so
people post
good
their
today.
cars all the
It was
time.
in and out, boy. It was effortless. No, because that's what happens every day. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, you know, let's just be honest here, because some people is using social media for good things. Most people is using it for cap and attention. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? To cap and attention. If you're doing those things, you know who you are.
And
If
you need
you're
to
a
be
real
rewired.
yeah, if you're a real
Wait, don't say
entrepreneur.
cap. Break down cap for us, for the
Cap.
people who may not know what it is.
So capping to me is, like my brother said, Tawan said,
False illusion.
intentionally creating an illusion of something that you know is not true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that, you know, and like I said, I don't think it's new. People been doing it from day one.
Yeah.
But I think what's new is the fact that everybody is doing it.
Hold on, or
And it's
even what if
cool.
they are on there even what you said with relationships, venting. Like you see
Oh,
people
man,
on
that's
there
my-
like,
that's my pet
I got
peeve.
into it with my sister. She did this, she did that. My kid is gone with his dad right now. Like just giving people a whole rundown of your whole life and you're using this as a diary. Don't do that. Go get you a therapist.
Man, please go get you a therapist.
Don't be on there. We don't want to hear about how you went through this. We don't want to hear about all that. Like, not being insensitive about the situation, but it comes off a little delusional and it comes off like you're trying to get attention. Like, I've seen people literally on social media crying
With the
tears.
cry.
And it's like, how do you record yourself?
Not the
That's a
actual
different
tear
level
drop.
of some type of psychological issue.
But here's the thing here's the other part that I guess a normal person wouldn't know that would be beneficial to do that in the right platform and not on social media. When you divulging personal information to a therapist, that person has signed documentation that protects your confidentiality. They can't go off and tell all their friends about your dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah.
But if you put that on social media, everybody who see that can tell somebody, and they can tell somebody, and they can tell somebody.
And not only that, a therapist is trained to respond in a way that's not going to make your problem worse. If you put your problem on social media for all these people who don't care about you, who don't care whether it's going to make your problem worse or not,
it and bring that mug back up.
and they probably going to give you some bad advice or tell you something that's going to make you feel even worse.
Definitely. So please, everybody, stop airing your dirty laundry on social media. That's not helping your situation out. But it is a platform for you to get those things ironed out. But, just do it the right way.
I agree.
Okay, y'all, this was a very spirited conversation about social media, the pros, the cons, and the Rewire.
Definitely. If y'all have any comments, concerns, opinions, reactions, please let us know.
All right, y'all. We are Rewired Podcast _ on Instagram and Rewired Podcast 2020 on YouTube. And you have been
Rewired.